Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Hi, Cynthia. Good afternoon. So we've had some duck drama today. Hi, Courtney. Hi, Steinmetz Family Farm. Hi, Henny. Yeah, so we had some duck drama today. This morning when I came out to feed everybody, I saw all these feathers. You can see there's a lot of feathers. Aw, Chuck is serenading me again. Jay, don't be mad. I gave them a little scoop of grains. Hi, Chucky Poo. This one's about the ducks. I'll get to you, okay? Good boy. So I had a scare this morning. I know I say it's like Jurassic Park with Chuck, the way he serenades me now. Even called Jay. I did my little head count and I only had 9 ducks. And I didn't panic, but I looked around for a duck and I got concerned because I saw just all these feathers. This is a lot more feathers than normal. I've been seeing some broken eggs like that guy, and I thought, oh no, I had a predator. So I called Jay and he walked me through what to look for, and I checked around the perimeter. I checked for feathers outside of the fence area. I really didn't see any outside the fence area. And there was a gap in the chicken wire right there. So you're looking at my my sewing knotting skills. I mended that. And then I put just temporarily, I put this baling twine across to help kind of close this gap a little bit. I probably only closed it about 1/3 of what it was, but better than nothing for just short term, immediately. And then I reached out to Ryan because if I have a predator coming here and he's interested in ducks, I want to make sure that they get the ducks they would want. And they actually had already gotten a male duck. So now I need to find homes for all these beautiful ducks. So after my meetings, I thought I'd roam the farm looking for something to, I'll go back to what I was showing you before, to go back to bridging that gap since I'm not strong enough to make this post exactly vertical. And I wanted to close up this gap a little bit more. And didn't see anything. So then I went back to the ducks and I thought, I'm going to look a little harder within the duck area for the remains of the duck. Because I only had 9 and I narrowed it down to, it was one of the 3 brown ones that was missing. And the ones that I still saw remaining was a larger one and a smaller one. But the larger one that normally is the male, I didn't see his curly feather. So I thought I had both females. And then I come this way, just kind of walking you through my steps here. and looked around in here, and normally there's an egg or two in there, and there hasn't been. And then I come around here, and as I turn, I see feathers, like a whole bunch of feathers, like together, like still on an animal. And my heart sank. And I reached and I moved these out of the way, and lo and behold, it was a duck, but it was a live duck sitting on a clutch of eggs. Isn't that incredible? So of course, me getting this close to her, she goes running out, and I did my duck count, and all the ducks are present and accounted for. So in fact, the ducks must have just had a wild party last night and lost a bunch of feathers, but they're here. So that bigger duck is what I think is the male. Move my hand for focus. And then the two together are the females, Mandy and Sandy. And of course, Sebastian's in the middle. And we still have George Washington, Martha, Annabelle, Rudderless, and then the two other not named white ones. So yay! I don't have any missing ducks. And you all would have been so proud of me. I didn't cry. I didn't freak out. I just tried to figure out what I needed to do to get the remaining ones safe. And look at that. Aren't they pretty? Yay! I know, I'm so happy. So happy. And now I know that's why I wasn't seeing as many eggs. Yeah, maybe. Well, if they tried and failed, I've now sewed up the only gap I could find. I know. I thought I was missing the male, but it turns out it was the female that was hiding. I know, isn't that great? But I did go a whole 4 hours thinking that one was missing. And then there they were. Yeah. Actually, yeah, I don't even feel like crying. You know, I could just be all cried out, honestly, after this past couple weeks. But they're just so beautiful, and they're all present and accounted for. So now we need to find a beautiful home for them. Look at them come. Aww. They're so nice. Aww. Courtney, I'll let you tell him. Oh my goodness. So happy. And this is their little ducky paradise. I even considered making an alternate area for them. I just didn't know how I would move them over. And then of course, if I was going to put them in there, then I would need to block a couple of those holes and then try to get them in at night. And these ducks need to get rehomed, and I hated to have to disturb their current environment. Yeah, there's no pond at Jay's. Yes, I know, there's 10 ducks, and that's how many there should be, but this morning there was 9. Well, there were 9 out and about responding to being fed. There was one who was hanging out in these tall grasses right there with a clutch of eggs. Silly ducks. I don't know what we're going to do when we move. Yeah, 10 ducks is too many for Ryan. So I'm not even sure, because I'm not used to, you know, like farm animals, rural animals. I don't have a clue how to find homes for these guys. And of course, I'm not just going to sell ducks to just anybody. But they can't come to Texas. They're so pretty. And Annabelle's been getting around really well. I mean, it's not like she's completely healed or anything, but whatever was bothering her leg, the inflammation must have gone down. She still waddles quite a bit, but she moves around with the other ducks. She keeps up with the pack. I don't know what you call ducks. And so I haven't even had to give her baby aspirin. See, this is her little baby aspirin that I would give her a half every morning. And then we had her kind of isolated for a while to give her a chance to heal, because the boys will be boys. Linda Lee, where do you live? Are you like a couple hours away or several states away? Because I don't mind doing a little transport if it's to a good home. One of my roles in dog rescue for both the Pomeranian rescue and the Chow rescue is transport. So I don't mind transporting animals. And I do have crates that I could transport them in. Hi, George. Well, the dogs are mine, so the dogs will go back with us. In fact, we have fewer dogs now than when we came. Yeah. There they go. Yeah, I don't think Justin needs anything else. Thank you, Charlie. That would be great. I'd love for them to go to a sanctuary. Yeah, Justin doesn't need anything else put on his to-do list, guys. But I just love them so much. How do you not, right? Look at that. So cute. So when I found the lost duck, so it wasn't he leaves the 99 to go after one, but I did leave everything else that was on my to-do list today to solve the mystery of the missing duck and then take steps to get them safe. Hi, baby. But it's just crazy. Look at all these feathers. Yeah, they'd need a new pool if these ducks swam in it. That's the one thing. They are beautiful, but nasty in the way what they leave behind is really gross. Yeah, that black one's George. And then his girlfriend is Martha that he's kind of walking behind. That both of them have that puffy tuft on the top of their heads. Now Martha's is a little worse for wear. She needs to go to the salon. Anyway, so I just had to go live. Molting? Yeah, maybe I don't know a lot about ducks. Just kind of showed up and started caring for them and asking questions as they came up. There they go, across their little bridge. Like, okay. Now it's so funny. Why didn't you guys just go in the water? Look, these guys are in the water. Oh, and I've really enjoyed, I didn't know if I would like duck eggs, and now I've gotten so accustomed to them. Even with, well, there's 6 females and 4 males, and some days there's as many as 5 eggs. That was the other reason I was concerned, is because I've only been finding 2 or 3 eggs lately. I just wasn't looking in the right place. Oh, that's right. George did regrow an appendage after some frostbite. I had forgotten that. That's true. Guys are totally true. Yep. Texas is 23 hours by car. Hey, babies. So I guess I don't want these eggs to hatch, and if she's got the clutch like that. So let's see what we can figure out. I don't know if she's the only one that's been dropping eggs there. I guess, according to Jay, if there are a couple different colors. But I don't know, guys. I think they look like all the same color. So I'm going to need to collect all those. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to collect all those up and then do the float test to see if they will be edible or not. Yeek. Or I just toss them all, as I don't want more ducks. I already have to rehome these guys. Oh, look at them. They're all headed toward the other side of the pink shed. Oh, it only works for chickens. Okay. Yes, it was their secret stash. And what's funny is I never caught her coming out of there. You see Annabelle on the right up there in the distance? She has that gimp, but she keeps up. It's just so nice. It's actually really peaceful here again. I don't know how long that's been going on. Maybe up to 2 weeks. Okay, Chuck. I told the story about the ducks. What do you think, Chuck, huh? I know. I'm going to miss you, beautiful boy. I'm glad I have some really good pictures of you. Yeah. I was thinking about some of my favorite pictures, getting some nice black and whites done and then creating like a wall collage with some of my farm memories. Hi. Hi, Chucky Poo. Does Chuck bite? Not so far. He gives kisses though. Huh. Where's the wire? You want kisses? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Chuck. Aww. Aww. Yeah, I reached out to one of the rescues so far and let them know I'd be returning later in September. And I was thinking that if you guys were interested, that I could share some. Sometimes we do intake, from maybe a backyard breeder that gets shut down, or sometimes we negotiate if a breeder is kind of in over their head, and we'll take some of the Pomeranians. Sometimes our intakes are as many as 30. I think one time we even had 50 dogs come in a single intake. And it's quite an operation with volunteers, and I usually end up at the grooming station, and someone makes tags, and someone gets the database up and running, and someone organizes all the intake medications, and so that can be kind of fun. Or we do a number of adoption events, and so it can be kind of fun to see the animals at adoption events. I know, he has that big old toe. You know what I realized? Their tongue, at least his tongue, is pointy. I never realized before how pointy. Look at Uno, just nudged him in the behind. Are you guys going to play now? They really do a lot of playing in the last couple days. Well, if you want a straight up Chihuahua, yes, a Chihuahua rescue, I was on Recycle Palm's website this morning, and they have a Chihuahua Pomeranian mix. What was his name? Started with a B. I can't think of it. Anyway, super, super, super cute. Yeah, Pomeranians are double coated. They are. Yeah. Hi, Chuck. Hi, Chuck. Hey, Uno. Uno, you want to come say hi? So I'm not zoomed in. This is just how close they are. Now I'm zooming in. Hi, Chuck. You want to come say hi to everybody? Oh my goodness, Kay, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Yep. We even had one of our vice president from Recycled Palms just flew to California to pick up a palm. A lot of times too, we get them because seniors will pass away, and then their dogs get left behind. That always breaks my heart. Yes, I do. Yeah, we still have all our palms that we have here. Yep, we do. I know. And he's so cute. Are you gonna come say anything, Uno? You're gonna look at us? Okay, well, we'll go take a peek at Chuck again. Hi, Chuck. What's up, Chuck? Oh my goodness. I think it's working. Now, I don't think his horns could conduct electricity. That's why he can touch them with his horns. What do you think, Chucky Poo? Oh, man. Yeah, I really don't see a lot of flies either. I think they look pretty great. Yeah, so every rescue handles things differently as far as what they require for you to get a dog from them. For example, Recycled Pomeranians requires that you fly to Dallas to do a meet and greet in person and make sure that that's the pet for you before authorizing the adoption. And I mean, that can be, we've had people fly in and we've met them at the airport with dogs. And if we get a good feeling about you, and the dog seems to have a good feeling about you, and you have a good feeling about us and the dog, then you can go right back through security with the dog and get on your flight and go home. Sometimes it's that quick. sometimes people come and they stay and they do some sightseeing, and then they do a couple visits with maybe a number of dogs before they fly out. But they do require you to come to Dallas. Whereas Houston Chow Chow Connection, we do all of our approvals virtually, including the home visit and the approvals, and we will arrange for transportation out of state at the obviously at the owner's expense. And in both cases, your contract says if for some reason it doesn't work out, you have to return the dog to Texas. Yes, he do you want more treats? I gave him treats maybe half hour ago, 40 minutes ago. Just a little bit of treats. Yes. Look at him looking at us. Hi, baby. I know, you just look at the camera, square on. It's pretty cool. Oh, wow. Without any training. Oh, that's really great. My nephew had a diabetes dog, and it was trained from a puppy, and it was quite an investment that my sister and her husband made. And he did it, but I think he somehow evolved just into a pet. Hi, Chuck. Hi. What do you want? Are you gonna moo at me? Ooh. Come on, give me your Jurassic Park cry. Hi, guys. Hi. You know what? I can ask Mervin, as long as he won't eat them. I don't know. I'll ask Jay if he's the kind that comes and... Yes, I was living in Texas and came to the farm 5 times while I was still living in Texas. I know, Hito handsome. He was mean. They're kind of playing like some of my male dogs do. Actually, for my my Chow Chow, if he presses presses his forehead against your leg or your face, I've now learned that that's his version of a hug. So a lot of times when I want to give my Chow affection, I just lean my head down and push my forehead into his. Look at this. Well, that got a little X-rated there. Oops. Yeah, Christine, someone mentioned that last night too. So yeah, maybe that's something that I could do. What? It's over? You cuties. He really is an amazing... I mean, they both are... But Chuck is just this mountain of a cow. And then Uno's huge too, but he just has a more tender... Now, this is a moment Mark would make fun of me. I was going to say visage, like his face, his appearance is more tender and gentle. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely don't think they're lonely. Not one little bit. Yeah, I'm going to miss me not being on the farm also. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I know. Cute cows. Look at that. Cute cows. Oh, see if we can... They're both looking at the camera. Can I zoom it in? There's a little bit. Hi, cows. I know, so sweet. Hi, big guys. Yeah, he is a bull. Oh, aren't they both bulls? I mean, they're both male, right? Is a male cow a bull? Oh, there it goes again. That's impressive. Yes, we're gonna be missing. We're gonna be moving. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. Exactly, Doris. And that's what I did before. I mean, I met Mindy and Missy several times while we were all just coming in from a different state, so. Yeah. Dominants are just playing. So let's go have a look at some. You guys want to go see the fish? Hey, Sebastian. Hi, brown duck. Hi, white ducks, and Martha and George. So that's kind of the clique. It's Sebastian and the brown ducks, and George and Martha and the white ducks. And that's just kind of how they hang out. That's how they do their thing. I do here in Pennsylvania. In Texas, I live in a planned community suburb. A little different. Yes, we'd like to. I mean, our desire to move to Pennsylvania hasn't changed. How and when and if we get here is what has changed. Oh, there they go. I got out of their way. And then they're like, okay, the coast is clear. Let's go. There's Annabelle picking up the rear. Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania now. Yeah, this is Steinmetz family's farm. This was their original home and farm when they first started their farm page. This used to be what I called the pig grotto. In fact, I mean, the signs are still up from my visit from over a year ago. Jay gave me instructions and I wrote them on cardboard and hung them around the farm. And it's still there. And there was another one on the far end too, up by the peacocks. I know it's so funny because people come out to the new farm and like we have volunteers here and very few people come over to the old farm here. And I always think they want to see it. They tell me they want to see it. And I always say, just come on over. You know, we're just renting the house. This is their property. I mean, I mow it and feed some animals, but it's really their land and property. And look at this. This swing is still here. Just exactly where it's always been. They wanted to bring this log over and it's still here. No, I didn't see. I heard that she had been sleeping with the goats last night, but I didn't see it. And then where we had more chickens and peacocks. And the billy goat playground is now a billy goat jungle. Yep, me too. Lots of memories on that swing. And the vines are taking over the peacock area. There's Aiden's coop still there. Like it was. I mean, heavens, look, that blanket's still there. That's from a year and a half ago when all those babies were born in the winter and they had a bunch back here. They hung blankets around to keep them warm, which is nice. Ugh, I'm getting bit. I had taken some of the fencing from around the pig area and made a little play yard for the Poms. Oh, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes, guys. Yuck, 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 yuck. Yeah. This is what I tried to show you last night, but it was dark. This is the area that if any of those little watching goats needed to come over, it was ready. So there's really not much more to share that y'all haven't seen. Except the garden. Oh my goodness. There's so many of those little cherry tomatoes. I've like gotten tired of coming out and picking them. And the pool's still there. It still has cesspool water in it. I don't actually have any lemongrass bug spray. That's one thing I never got. I've got the old chemical kind. Look who's here. I do need some bugaboo. Don't they look great? They can in the wintertime, but in the spring, summer, and fall, I feed them daily. It's got to be the easiest chore on the farm. You just sit there and appreciate them and throw them some food. I know they're huge. Yes, Patricia, we still have our house in Texas. Ugh. Sorry, I don't know where all these mosquitoes are coming from. We haven't really had much of a mosquito problem, but it seems like they're hanging out now. We don't know who will take care of the animals once we leave. We haven't gotten that far in the decision making process. Let's see. I could show you a few things that we're going to sell. It's a little hard to see, but you remember those chairs we bought at auction? So we're going to sell some of those guys. I think that's it in here. If any of you are local and you're interested in any of these big things, just let me know. Now this garage door sticks, so you'll probably hear me grunt, and I don't know if I can do it with one hand. I'll give it a try. I mostly did it without grunting. So for those of you, this is an inversion table. It's still wrapped up from when we moved here. We never unpacked it. So that's going to be available. And, oh, I know, the thing I should really show you is the buffet. So this is the base of the buffet here. One of the feet need repair here. It actually has some beautiful molding. Sorry, it's so dark. Let me get the flash on. And where's the flash? Flash is there. Yay! And you can see it needs refinishing, but it's really quite lovely original hardware. These are the pieces to that foot where it needs to get repaired. There, now I'm showing it. And then when you open up from down below, looks like it's been converted before. But until we came to the farm, this was always kept inside. But it has these beautiful corbels. And then this is the top with the glass doors. And there's shelves that are just sitting kind of at the bottom. It looks like I have one of my architectural triangles in there. And then they're adjustable. And then that whole thing sits on top here, and there's these pegs to keep it in place. And then you can, like, I think it had like little pieces of wood that kept it up there. So by the time that thing is stacked up, it's, like I said before, I think it's 8 feet tall. So that's available if someone's interested in it. They're upside down now, but those are the black leather bar stools that need to be dusted off. There's 3 of those. So if any of that interests you, let us know. There we go. I'll go ahead and get this put back up. I'm gonna let you look at the house for a second. There we go. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Well, my drafting table, but that's not very exciting. And I think just 2 trees. So what happened was we were going to hire somebody to take care of the landscape, mow the lawn and water the lawn. And my son was like, no, we're not that far. We'll take care of it. And so they came, and then, you know, they had just bought a house and were crazy busy. The only thing that I was disappointed is they didn't let me know that they weren't able to come out. And so now we're pretty sure we have a dead lawn and landscape. So when I get back, I'm going to have to re-landscape. So then I have this tree. I forget the name of it, but it needs a new home. It needs to be pruned so it grows properly. And then this tree needs a new home. These are still brand new. But see, I can't put a 20 foot to 30 foot and look at the zone. It's not even zoned for Texas. Probably same with this guy. I think this was called a star something. I want to say something star something. But yeah. Oh, there's Poncho. I'll let you guys see. There's Poncho. Hiya, big chow chow. Hi, big guy. Oh, and I have another thing that Mary might want for gardening. It's like a baker's rack kind of a thing with some glass shelves. It's you know, like curved wire with a wooden top and a wooden shelf, and then glass shelves above with like wine racks and stuff. I use it in the dog room, but I was thinking she might want it for her plants. It'd be a nice potting table. Oh, you're thinking Mary might want some plants? Yeah, I don't know if she wants those trees. And the little guys, I'm like, I know the boxwood and the cherry and a number of these others, they'll make it in Texas. Yes, my dog is a chow chow. He's a big chow chow. A very big chow chow. And some of them didn't, well, like this pine, I can't take this pine. The back side of it didn't do well. I don't know what that is all about, but it doesn't appear to have a disease or anything. But I did have one, I had 2 that just randomly just died. And I wondered if they had a disease. That's like what happened to this. This was a really beautiful plant, and I used some neem oil on it to try to protect it. It still didn't make it. But I have these others, which now I'm going to need since my others. The price that we were offered. Oh, I don't know if Jay and Lauren ever made that that public. They may have offered us a deal, and I wouldn't want to start setting any expectations about the value of this of the farm. Yeah. Plus, from when we bought it, no major renovations have been done, but there's been a lot of work. We were buying it as is, and the price reflected there being a lot of stuff on it, and since then, a lot has been cleaned up. As you can see, I mean, you can't even imagine. I mean, that used to have tents and tables and military tents and heaters and gates and fences. And it's all pretty cleaned up now. Yeah. So, anyway. So, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and get back in and, I don't know, I'll either face my to-do list and get something done, or I won't face it and I'll hug a dog. I do a lot of animal hugging. Yeah, because they're so sweet and it makes me happy. So, thanks guys for joining. I'm glad, thank you God, that we found the missing duck. And we officially have 10 ducks that need a sanctuary or a good home where they'll be well cared for and loved. And that's it. I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.